getting involved in community service. All of those things are really important to me, and I'm really grateful for those opportunities. Now, the second thing that influenced me growing up was I'm also what some people call a has-been beauty queen. So I competed in the Miss America organization 3 or 4 years ago. And I've heard all those misconceptions about us pageant girls too. I've heard the one about the girl in the interview. She was asked, "What is your opinion of euthanasia?" And she said, "I believe they should have the same rights as youth in America." So I've heard all of those stories too. It really doesn't hurt my feelings. The reality is I got really thick skin from that, and I paid for my college education. I developed public speaking skills, which I use to this day, interviewing skills. And here's a little piece of trivia for you. I won talent in the Miss South Carolina pageant playing dueling banjos on the flute. So talk about poise and posture, right? That poise and posture really came in handy. My last career before this one, I've had quite several. That's another story altogether. But I worked for many years as a sideline reporter for high school and college sports, working for local network affiliates and some for ESPN. And I actually got run over on the sidelines during a live football game one time by a player. And that's on YouTube. If you want to go watch it, it's on my YouTube channel. You just put in Tiffany Erwin hit by player. It'll come right up. And but that's one of those things that poise and posture comes in really handy when you get knocked over in the middle of a football game. And so all of these things, I think the Miss America organization also influenced me growing up, because community service was a really important part of it. So I'm very grateful for those opportunities. I think that I learned a lot about giving back, and I learned the definition really of service above self before I ever even knew what Rotary was. So I'm really grateful for that. So I do look at Rotary a little bit differently than most people. Um, I don't believe that everybody deserves to be in Rotary. I believe that Rotary offers different value to different people. And I don't mean capital V like value. I mean like the value of, for me, it might be networking. And for Heather, it might be adult conversation. I think I heard a child in the background. And for Jack, it might be fellowship. Maybe for somebody else, it might be learning skills like leadership development. So for everybody, there's a different reason for us to come to Rotary. For some people, it might be service. There's an age-old debate. I know many of you have probably heard it, about whether or not we are a service club. And the reality is, I used to think that we were, but I've been doing my homework, and I understand now that we are a membership organization. Because people pay dues to participate, that makes us by definition a membership organization. And one of the products that we provide is service. But we also provide networking, we provide fellowship, we provide leadership development, public speaking, fundraising, grant writing skills, so many things that we can get. So you have to find what someone is needing in their life, what value do they need, and make sure that Rotary gives them that value. So it's interesting, because when I was preparing to be district governor, a friend of mine gave me a book as a gift. And so I started doing a little research, and I found that there are lots of different versions of this book. I'm going to share it with you. It's called Adventure in Service. Now, many of you who have been in Rotary for a long time may recognize it. It used to be given to new Rotarians as almost like an orientation manual when you join the organization. And so when I was preparing to become district governor and I started doing the research, I found that this version that I found here on eBay was printed in 1970, the year I was born. And because I was getting ready to be district governor, I thought it would be interesting to see just how much things had changed from the time I was born to the time I became district governor. So I bought this copy and read it cover to cover. And I have to tell you guys, I love it. If you're a real geeky Rotary geek, or a real nerdy Rotary geek like I am, and you love to find old Rotary memorabilia, there are tons of these on eBay that you can find for relatively inexpensive. But here's an interesting quote that I found in this book. I thought it was great. It talks about a lot of things in here, but it talks about that question of service organization and things like that. And you all know that our branding, right, is people of action. That's who we are. We're people of action. So this book, first printed in the 1940s, but this version in 1970, says the Rotarian himself gives immediate and concrete meaning to the term service above self, and he profits most who serves best. The compilers of dictionaries do not build the meaning of such mottos, nor do they dictate that Rotary be known as a service club. These concepts are made meaningful by men of action, their action defining their words. even then we're called, okay, granted it says men of action, but remember, women were not yet a part of Rotary in 1970. So even then it says that we don't have to be defined as a service club and that we are people of action. So what's interesting to me is that sometimes, as much as things change, sometimes they stay the same. And it's important for us to recognize that our organization has changed a lot and will continue to evolve. Paul Harris himself said, this is a changing world. We must be prepared to change with it. He said, the story of Rotary has to be written again and again. So many things have changed, and not just in our organization, but in the world. And as I mentioned earlier, I spent last week, just 2 days. I went Tuesday and came home Wednesday. Y'all saw it on Facebook. You know, I did a lot of things in 24 hours in Minneapolis, but I had an opportunity to go and visit the George Floyd Memorial site. And I can't even write about it yet. I was so moved by that experience. I plan to do a blog post about it, but I just couldn't find the words yet. And I took, as I mentioned, Alex with me. She's 19, and I was really looking forward to seeing that site and just learning as much as I can. And because we're change makers, that's who we are in Rotary, and being a part of change is how we make the world a better place. And but when I saw Alex get moved to tears by that memorial at 19 years old, I thought, we're doing something right by exposing people to change and to having open discussions, and Rotary has led the way in a lot of ways. And I didn't mean to get off on that as a tangent, but I was really grateful for that opportunity. And I think that, oftentimes people say to me, what is your elevator speech when people ask you what Rotary is? So first of all, I have to admit that when you walk through an airport carrying a sequin backpack and wearing 5-inch heels and carrying a rooster with you, which is another story, then a lot of times people ask you where you're going, what you're doing. So I get the opportunity to talk about Rotary all the time. Now, I'm always wearing my Rotary pin or Rotary shirt, and usually some sequins, because sequins are my Prozac. And so I get the opportunity to tell people a lot about what Rotary is. And so people are always asking me, what do you say? Like, what's your elevator speech? And I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. You don't need an elevator speech. All you need to do is memorize our Rotary vision statement. It says, together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. That's what we do. We create lasting change. And aren't you grateful to be a part of that? Whether it's at home by building a park for special needs kids, or whether it's in yourself learning a new skill like fundraising or public speaking, or whether it's on the other side of the world digging a well in Ghana, we create lasting change. And we have to find, as I said earlier, that value that someone's missing. I believe that we all have different skills and talents and passions to bring to the table. The question is, what's missing from your table? Who else needs to be at the table to make us a diverse, equitable, and inclusive organization, to make us be able to create more change, more lasting change? Who's missing from the table? Last year, while I was district governor, we created a new DEI, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee in our district, the first of its kind in our district. It wasn't my idea. I like to take credit for a lot of ideas. That one wasn't mine. I stole it from someone else. Rotary International had been doing it for a long time. Many other districts had. We just hadn't done it here. But one of the things I really wanted us to focus on is that diversity is so much more than our race or our gender or even our sexual orientation or our religious beliefs. All of those are really important, and we need to think about those in everything we do in our meetings, whether it's the prayer that we give or the projects that we do, or whatever, or the time of day that we meet. But diversity is even more than that I think people forget. I am never going to be one of those Rotarians that can write a big check to the Rotary Foundation. Listen, I'm just out there trying to figure out how to pay my mortgage every month, like a lot of other people. But I can give my $10 a month, $30 a quarter to the Rotary Foundation via Rotary Direct, because it's the right thing to do, because it's our foundation and it's how we make a difference and it's how we create lasting change. So for me, I'm never going to be a major donor unless I win the lottery one day. But for now, I can give my $10 a month. And I feel like sometimes we forget about those people. We forget there are people out there that want to create lasting change and want to be part of something bigger than what they already are alone. And we overlook people who maybe can just give us $10 a month. On the other hand, sometimes we're overlooking the folks who write big checks uh, or something, you know, because we think that they don't want to come sit and have coffee with people at breakfast, or maybe we're overlooking people based on just their vocation alone. Yes, I used to be on television. People tend to tell me that when I'm at the CVS pharmacy now. People will walk by and go, "Oh, I remember you. You used to be famous." Ha, thanks. But people wanted me in their Rotary Club. Right now, I own an eBay store. I sit at home all day and work on my computer. How many people do you think would ever ask someone who works at home, maybe prior to the pandemic? We all work at home right now, I know, to be a part of their Rotary Club. So we have to think about diversity in vocations. We have to think about diversity in our projects that we do. There are so many different things that they're all important. We need to concentrate on all of them. So I love this quote by Verna Myers. It says, "Diversity is being invited to the party. Inclusion is being asked to dance." And there's some great visuals out there that you can share as well. My pet project with my Rotary Club is special needs baseball, special needs sports. And on Saturday mornings, if you follow me at all on social media, you'll see that's where I am most Saturday mornings, is volunteering, working out there with those kids and adults, but just having a blast. And I will mention too, if you're not following me on social media, please do find me, friend me, follow me, tag me, all of those things, because I'm on every form of social media. I'm also have a new YouTube channel that I would love for you to subscribe to, where I'm sharing lots of stories and things as well. But I think that it's important that we do share our story. We are the world's best kept secret. And that's one of the ways that we're going to grow our organization, is by continuing to share our story, both in the social media, in our friends and family, and in the traditional media. One of the things I loved about this book is there's a lot of things I love about this book, but one of them is in it, it says that when you are given this book, you're told two things. One of them is you were chosen for this organization. Wow, I don't know about you, but I wasn't told that when I joined 18 years ago. In fact, if I remember correctly, when I moved to Hendersonville and interviewed for a job, my new boss said, "Oh, you will join this Rotary Club when you move here." I wasn't really given an opportunity or a choice. I had been in Rotary before, but he told me exactly which club I was going to join. So just imagine what it would mean to someone if we told them they were chosen for this organization. And the other thing it says in here, the second thing, is that you're about to begin an adventure in service. Wow. You know, who knew that I was going to be on such an amazing adventure? When I joined 18 years ago, I certainly never thought that I would be district governor. And down the road, I did think that I wanted to do that. I felt like this was a way that I could give back. The thing about it is, we all have different skills, talents, and passions. We all bring something different to the table. But I believe who we are is what we do with what we have. And we have to take advantage of what we have and share it with others. And for me, I can't write a big check, but I can speak, I can do fundraisers, I can do social media and public image. And that's how I give back to this organization, in addition to my service hours and my service projects. But we all have something different. And who we are is what we do with what we have. I'm going to ask each of you to help me. I have this mission, if you will, to change the vocabulary in Rotary, because for so long we've been talking about recruitment and retention, and you'll have the membership experts stand up and tell you that if you work on retention, then you won't have to worry so much about recruitment and blah blah blah. Okay, I want us to change our vocabulary, because to me that sounds like we're joining the military, and I have great respect for military people. I just couldn't do it, not in 5-inch heels especially. But I think we should call it attraction and engagement. I want you to think about something. And right now, I know it's different because everybody's clubs are different than they were before, but is your club attractive to outsiders? I spoke to a Rotary Club in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina one time that still has a head table. I should probably stop telling where they are. The story's going to get back to them one day. But they bring me in. They say, "Oh, here's the buffet. You get your lunch. You go sit at the head table." I sat at the head table. 20 minutes later, when they introduced me to speak, I was still the only person sitting at the head table. Now, listen, y'all know me. I can talk to a tree. I was fine. But I want you to think about for a minute, what if that guest speaker had never been to a Rotary Club meeting before? Would they have ever wanted to come back? So is your club attractive to outsiders? And maybe it's the prayer you do. Maybe it's, is there a greeter at the front door so that guests know which door to come in? You have no idea how many Rotary clubs I have visited that I walk around and around a building and until I can find the right door, or finding, how to go get the food or whatever, or not knowing what it is when they start doing some ritual. In our district and in our zone, we're zones 33 and 34, we have this amazing program called Coins for Alzheimer's Research Trust. And every week at our club meetings, we have these blue buckets sitting in the center of our tables. And every week, people take their spare change out of their pocket, throw it in a blue bucket. People tend to shake the bucket and make noise. We don't even usually tell people what we're doing. Somebody, the president or the cart fund chair stands up, shakes the bucket, people throw their change into it. A guest was sitting next to me one day and said, "What is that?" And it occurred to me that we don't mention every week at our meetings that we are raising money to find a cure for Alzheimer's, and that 100% of every dime that goes into those buckets goes to research for Alzheimer's. We don't mention to our guests and visitors that in the last 20 years, we've given $10.2 million in research grants because one guy had an idea to throw a spare change in a bucket every week at Rotary. Every week at Rotary, we don't explain to people why we have, I don't know if you can even see it, my pinky is painted purple for polio plus. We don't even tell people that we are this close to eradicating a disease from the face of the planet. We are the world's best kept secret. Did you know that we are older than the Boy Scouts of America? Now, I want you to think about that for a second. We have a rich history and tradition. We should be proud of it. But have you ever met a single person that's never heard of the Boy Scouts? But yet, how many people still have no idea what we do and who we are? And that's on us. So, my advice to you, if you remember nothing else from today, is to think about what it is that makes you passionate about Rotary. Find your passion and make it your purpose. For me, it's become the CART Fund. I'm now vice president of public image for this board, and my goal is to spread it to other zones. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to share it with you guys. It might be something you want to learn more about. 100% of every donation goes to research. And so in my district, I dropped something, I want to share it with you. In my district, it started in my club in my district now. The four most dreaded words in our area are when Tiffany Erwin says, "I have an idea." People get really nervous. And so a few years ago, I said to some folks, I'd really like to do an extra fundraiser to raise a little extra money for the CART Fund this year. And my club said, "Sure, what do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, everybody does a 5K or a 10K or a golf tournament. So we decided to do a 0K. It's all the fun without the run." And so I had these cute little stickers made up that say 0.0, and we sell tickets, and we have a band, and we have a buffet, and we have a starter gun that goes off. And when it does, everybody races to the bar. It's a great event. The start finish line is all one and the same. It was unique. It was different. It got people's attention. And it's one of those things that, don't be afraid of your idea, because 0.0, who would have thought? And people get a little nervous. But one man had an idea to throw a spare change in a bucket at Rotary every week, and now we're going to find a cure for Alzheimer's. One man got together 4 of his closest friends to network, and now we have an organization of 1.2 million people around the world. One man out in your area, Larry Lunsford, 20 years ago, decided to collect a few shoes, and look what's happening now, 20 years later. So don't be afraid of that one item, that one idea. Wear your pen everywhere you go, every single day. I mentioned earlier that I travel with my little friend Rotary Cocky. I'm a huge Gamecock fan. I went to the University of South Carolina. So for those of you who met me at Show Me Pets, Show Me Rotary, you guys met Rotary Cocky because he does travel with me. And I'm sure that there's some Missouri pins on here somewhere. But he travels with me everywhere I go. He has all kinds of little accessories. He has a luau lei. He has, all kinds of cool things. He has an Oktoberfest hat for, you name it. He was very disappointed that he didn't go to Honolulu last year. But so you can imagine if I'm walking through an airport wearing 4-inch heels or 5-inch heels, carrying that, I get a lot of attention. And I would be remiss if I didn't share those heels with you, for those who didn't see them earlier. So I'm kind of known for my shoes. People expect it when I travel. Yes, I carried them with me to Missouri I keep saying Missouri, I'm so sorry, to Minnesota last week. But when I got to go to International Assembly in San Diego, a few years ago before I became governor, I had these custom made shoes that I took on my trip. So I wear these everywhere when I speak. But after Mark Maloney announced our theme for last year of Rotary Connects the World, I had new ones made that had the theme logo on the side. So I get to wear these when I travel and speak. I keep them close by when I speak from home because I haven't worn heels in a very long time right now, although I did last week. So that was good news. But wear your pin every single day. You know what it says about you? It says that you're a person of action. It says that you're a person who lives, works, and breathes by the 4-way test. It says that you have values and you are service minded and you have leadership skills and so many qualities. And isn't that the kind of person that you want to be around? I spoke to a Rotary Club in Alaska one time, and they were doing their happy dollars where they pass around a big fur hat that has a Rotary cog on the front of it. And I said to the guys, I was like, this is the coolest hat. I said, I have to have my picture made wearing this hat. They said, honey, you don't want that hat anywhere near your head. Trust me. So I did not get that photo, but it was so cute. And I thought, they're doing something different and they're trying something new. Now they still fine you for certain things. They fine you for not wearing your Rotary pin, which I thought was really impressive. And they asked, how many of you are wearing your Rotary pin today? And that day, 75% of the room, their hands went up. It was incredible. And so when I got up to speak, I thanked them for wearing their Rotary pins or their shirts or whatever they may have on that day. And I said, do me a favor, raise your hand again if you're wearing your Rotary pin today. And 75% of the room, raised their hands. And I said, now do me a favor and keep your hand up if you wear it every day. And their hands started coming down. And I'll ask them the same thing I ask you. Are you only a Rotarian on Wednesday at breakfast? Are you proud to be a Rotarian every single day? Because it speaks volumes about you as a person. And if you truly love this organization, don't you want to share it with others? Don't you want to be proud to be a Rotarian? you know, Inviting someone else to join us is one of the best ways that you can show how much you appreciate and respect this organization. And I have people all the time say to me, Tiffany, I've been in Rotary 50 years. I've done all that. I've written the big checks. I've sponsored members. I've been past president. I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to come have coffee with my friends on Wednesday morning and still write my check every year to the Rotary Foundation. Or maybe I want to show up and pick up trash on the side of the road, but I don't want to bring in new members. Okay, I'm okay with that. We all have different talents, skills, and passions. But here's what I will ask if you're one of those people: mentor someone, take on one of those new members that someone else brings, and let them understand what it means to be a part of this organization. Because we all have different talents, skills, and passions. To me, Rotary is organized friendship. And I'm really grateful for those opportunities to share my Rotary story, to get people involved in different ways, to share things around the world. I believe that one person can make a difference. One idea, as crazy as it is, can really make a difference, and it's important for us to remember that. So, I encourage you, if you haven't before, not right now, but when you go home, take a look at my YouTube channel. I have a video there meeting. And when we talk about attraction and engagement, it's a great example. I'm sure that your club does none of the things in this video. And we're getting ready to do a part 2 to that. So you'll want to take a look at that. If you have seen horrible things at a Rotary meeting that make you just cringe and you have something you think I should add to the video, please message me and let me know what it is, because we're working on that now. I love this organization. I love the opportunities that I get, and opportunities being a very important word this year. I love the friendships that I've made. And I love knowing that I'm part of something bigger than myself. And I think that that's one of the things that has really spoken to me in the last few years as I've had an opportunity to serve as district governor. I had someone in my district say to me before I became governor, when I was first announced that I was going to be a governor, first of all, they were surprised because I just look so young, of course. But then they said, but you can't be governor. You're not a major donor. And I thought, wow, we have a lot of misconceptions out there, don't we? It just turned out that every governor before me had been a major donor. But what I think I brought to the table was something totally different than a big checkbook. And I'm grateful for people who have a checkbook and can do that. But for me, I can speak, I can fundraise, I can do public image and social media and special events, and I can share my Rotary story with hopes that someone else will get inspired. I attended Rotary meetings for many, many years, and I was in Rotary. I chaired everything. But Rotary wasn't in me until I had an opportunity to go on an international service trip. And I saved my money because that was a big deal for me. And I went to Colombia, Medellin, Colombia, to help deliver wheelchairs to children with disabilities, children who have spinal bifida. And that's when everything changed for me, because I saw a woman pick up her child off of a dirt floor and put him in a wheelchair and give him mobility and independence for the very first time. And everything changed for me. All of a sudden, Rotary was in me. And that's part of my Rotary story. The rest of it being CART and Alzheimer's, because I lost my mother to Alzheimer's. And I'm very grateful for this organization, because I do believe that we will find a cure for Alzheimer's. But that's my Rotary story. And yours is going to be completely different. And if you tell me that you haven't had your Rotary story yet, then I just say be open to the opportunity. Find out what it is that you're passionate about, what you're good at. Maybe if you're good at social media, or good at making videos, or good at managing the checkbook, or writing a grant, or planning a special event, or working with young children, whatever the case may be, find your passion and make it your purpose, because that's how we make an impact. And that, my friends, is how we create lasting change. So I appreciate the opportunity to share my Rotary story with you this morning. I wish I could be there in person. I look forward to doing that again sometime soon. I hope that you'll invite me back. And I'm going to ask when you switch me back to big screen so that I can see all of you guys. I have one final thing I'm going to ask you to do with me. Because I think that you guys had breakfast with Tiffany this morning. How exciting, right? I am going to ask you all, thank you, David, to grab your cup of coffee, or your whatever you have. I'm going to fix mine so I can see all of you, because I think that it's important this time of morning to take a shot. All right, a screenshot. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot of all of us. So everybody hold your drinks up for me so I can see, and big smiles. I'm going to give you all a big, now y'all in the room, y'all got to hold them up really high so that I can see y'all. Okay, ready? Big smiles. All right, y'all hear that? It worked. All right, thank you so much. That way I can tag you all on Facebook. And if you haven't found me on there, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I'm now on Clubhouse. For those of you who haven't joined yet, if you need an invitation, let me know. It's iPhone only, but there's some great Rotary discussions going on there. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have them, but hey, I tell you my entire life story. What is there to ask, right?
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Does anybody have any questions? Comments? I think you covered it all.
Awesome. Thank y'all.
Thank you. It's great to have you with us. Good to see you, Heather, and for joining us. Heather is officially a new member of our club this week, so we welcome you. Got the official speech, so we're going to do that next week, Heather. We will install you, okay? As one of our chosen.
Excellent. Sounds good to me.
All right. Anybody have anything else? Bob?
Was there, maybe Bill, you know, wasn't there something going to be done for Ted?
Haven't heard the date yet.
Okay, but something about that.
Yes.
But it was in June.
That's what they had originally said. So I haven't heard from Scott or Roxanne yet on a date. So I'm holding a whole box of pictures that they've already sent to me that are going to be part of a display. So I know there will be. So we're talking about one of our members that passed away during the pandemic, and they haven't had a service for him. That is supposed to be next month sometime. So we will, as soon as we know what it is, I'll get it out there. Anybody else?
We have one more week that somebody needs to fill, because I'm tired. Week of the 23rd, even after you guys get to hear me do something, I don't know what.
June 23rd.
June 23rd.
June 23rd.
Because I am running out, and here's what this running out of ideas, folks.
14 months.
I could
could recap my trip to Hawaii. Wait, there.
What's the expression like last year, Tom, and what? Okay.
It just zoomed by me so quickly.
Uh-oh.
Try to get
Let's leave the jokes to
Bush.
Tiffany. So Carolyn, what'd you say?
I said I can try to get Don from Stella's Bush for the 23rd of June.
Okay,
If you want.
yep,
That'd be great, thank you. And just
I'll
have
let you
contact.
know. I'll talk to him today.
I'm sorry, I
Take it
missed,
easy.
what is on the 23rd of June?
we're missing a program.
Nothing, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're talking about. Sorry, Heather.
It keeps breaking up, so I'm trying to like catch every little like glimpse because I can't hear individuals talking so well.
Okay.
So that's why
Yeah,
I keep
sorry.
coming back asking so I can make sure I get everything.
No problem. We're trying a different system this week, Heather. Is it harder this week than prior weeks? Or
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
It's glitchy this week.
okay. We went to one computer this week instead of using the iPad for the microphone. So
Okay, that could possibly be it. Quick question though, there is, so I was starting my own non-for-profit organization. I'm actually getting everything put together, but in the process, I was reaching out to some people in the community and asking what did they do to go about creating their non-for-profit organization. And I had a meeting with Larry Rice's grandson, and they had mentioned a volunteer fundraising opportunity for helping the homeless, and it should be in October. I'm still collecting more information on it, but I didn't know if that would be something that people would be interested in participating in. I know I will be participating in it myself, but it's basically you're camping in your backyard to kind of, and it's just one night, I'm pretty sure that he said, and it's to get an idea of what it's like to well, sort of an idea of what it's like to experience homelessness on one night with the weather and with different ailments that they face. And if anyone would be interested in participating in that, I know I'll be camping in my backyard with lots of mosquito repellent because I am really allergic. But if anybody would be interested, just let me know and I can put you in the program email so then you're more informed.
very good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else? All right. Thank you all for joining us this week. Next week's program is something.
I didn't bring my paper, so I don't remember.
All right, no
It could
problem.
be a cooking class. I made beignets this morning, so.
All right. Sounds great. And how, any news on the restaurant opening, bakery? Yeah.
No, I'm kind of left in the dark right now. I'm just baking like a maniac at home, just practicing and making everything perfect. And yeah, as far as I know, she said that her grand opening was supposed to be on the 25th. That's passed. So now it's probably on the 5th, but it's not looking, I have no idea. So I'm kind of just pumping the brakes and just practicing my baking to do my part.
All right, keep us up to date.
I will definitely do that.
All right. Thank you again, Tiffany, for joining us. You're
Thank you
great.
guys. Great to see you, Governor Tom as well, and Governor David. Thank y'all so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
I'm gonna roll it up, rip it